is just fantastic.
Like, deep down, I want him to be uncucked. I want him to get the tattoos lasered off, get a normal haircut, get rid of Yoko Ono. That's poisonous. That relationship is poisonous. She's like his entertainment handler. Like, she's his career manager now or something. She's got to go, man.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Anisa, the wife of Idubbzzz, the business manager, partner, boss, husband in the marriage, is trending on Twitter. And I thought we'd go and have a look why. As to why even. The reason why concerns two individuals, and boy oh boy do they have words to say. Let's not dilly-dally as we have many a clip to go through, and simply dive right in. Because they're not looking so good right now, the Idubbzzz and the Idubbzzz master.
Believing it. But so for that second event, so I tell him he needs to do 2-a-days. This is like 2 weeks before the fight. I'm like, we need to do your 2-a-days. And I said, my brand is at stake. Well, he went and told Anisa that I told him my brand was at stake. So the next day she comes into the gym super mad and she's like, our brand is at stake. We're $500,000 in the hole right now. And we're like,
I wish I knew that. I wish I knew that at that time. I think a lot of the fighters would have liked to have known that.
Considering the money and the numbers involved and knowing now especially how much it lost, this would have been very useful information for to have had ahead of time. Mistreating your trainer is an interesting and novel concept, especially when Anisa's still pinned tweet is her 7 months into a boxing training regime. Not going to criticize the technique because I couldn't care less, but it's still pinned. Who's that trainer again? Oh, I should show the clip just so you understand what I'm referring to.
Great shit. Yes. Again. Backside. Back. Yes.
Back to these two though.
I don't think none of them needed to be in the dark about that, you know?
yes, completely. Well, and that's the thing. They said you guys didn't promote enough, but they weren't honest about the fact that they were spending the money from the ticket sales on the hotel, on flying people in, on all these other things. So it was just like,
so those decisions, the gala decisions, were made while in the red.
When people criticised Creator Clash 2, Idubbzzz had mentioned his desire to do as much as he could to protect those competing at the event. I'll be honest on this one. Promises were made that couldn't be kept, people were removed, and the only reason that the first one was as successful as it was down to some rather notable figures being a part of the event, like the first guy I showed. The second failed because of this purity testing and because of a really bad business model, and it was bad. Now we know that because of ownership and blah blah blah, percentages and blah blah blah, it wasn't really much of a charity event in the first place. The second event raised nothing. In fact, I'm sure you could have just billed the charities for the privilege of hosting an event that made them no money.
yes,
I have a question about that.
So she was like, we're already down 500,000, and she still had time to cancel stuff when she said that. Like, how before the event was that?
Yeah. I mean, it was 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks before the event. I mean, they
So
knew
she
they
could
were
have made some
500K
last
in
minute
the hole.
moves. Yeah.
They knew they were 500K in the hole long before that, right? That's just when they yelled at us about it.
I'm not gonna lie, openness, transparency is very important to me. Said unironically from a guy who uses a profile picture avatar thing, right? Yeah, bit ironic. But when it comes to doing things like charity, I think you should be very open and transparent about where the money is and where it's all going. If you haven't got enough money and you're 500 grand under, you fail. And those involved should be informed, because they then, as creators, can try and help. They can see if they can promote the event more. They can perhaps ask for donations to the event to help it, to raise money for it. It's not overly complicated here. How micromanagey are you? That's not a word. How desperate are you to be in control? That's better. That you can't shelve your pride to simply speak to those you have deemed lesser to you. You have to be so full of yourself. And no offense intended, you do OF. You're not above anyone. I promise you that.
Yeah.
So they could have definitely made moves to reduce spending.
She wanted that awards show so bad the next day. They really, really wanted to have that awards show so she could give out awards. Once again, you had heard, like Ian said, he didn't want to have the fight just end and have everybody go home the next day.
He said, I'll quote him because it's very rich. He says that the first time afterwards, he woke up and everybody was gone, and he found it super depressing because he didn't get a chance to process his trauma.
So a small part of me does understand. However, as someone that has boxed, I can promise you the following. If you're that sensitive, you shouldn't be boxing in the first place. You don't need some campfire, everyone sat holding hands having a jolly good cry moment situation type deal. You really don't. I will admit, yes, I rolled my eyes when he had said that. It was a while ago, and I remember. But people going is for their own best. They've got stuff to do. You may not hold these same views anymore, but that's a you problem, Idubbzzz. Which seems a little bit hyperbolic, frankly, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's like a self-inflicted charity event. I wouldn't call that exactly I wouldn't put that up with like maybe like fighting in a war. I don't know, but right. But I guess we all define trauma differently. But so he goes. So in that case, I wanted to throw a party afterwards where we could all talk to each other and process our trauma. And then he says, "We lost money, but I don't regret throwing the after party." I don't remember if the after party was at all costed or made public, but in these situations, your best hope would have been to have gone to a Chick-fil-A, Hooters before it went under, to go somewhere where the food is meh, yeah? Because it's not about the food, is it, or the drink? I understand wanting to celebrate what you've done, but you have nothing to celebrate, Idubbzzz. Nor do you, Idubbzz's master, because you lost money and the charity got nothing. There are YouTubers with less subscribers than myself and many others who have raised more money for charity by doing a simple video on you than you did from Creator Clash 2. It was failed because of all those people you removed who are so influential that they managed to make you look like absolute divs, which, as it turns out, is an accurate summation for who you are. Now, there are many more clips from these discussions we need to go through. We're going to go through some more. So the next clip is not going to be from this immediate discussion. This next question is very salacious, so it's totally up to you. You can pretend like you don't even know what I'm talking about if you want. But what I've heard is that she was hitting on one of his sparring partners and was obsessed with him and gave him a VIP pass to the event.
A lot of his sparring partners got the passes, but she definitely had a big crush on one of the guys that would come in and spar with them, because anytime they would spar, she would just be super into it and watch every moment.
Now this intrigues me. It intrigues me because, as we discussed yesterday, she is remarkably, and he is too, Ian Idubbzzz, incredibly insecure. We know this because of the meat meme joke OF thing that Donut Operator was doing. Incredibly insecure. But it's okay, guys. It's one rule for me, but not for thee. Being inappropriate? No, don't be silly. I'm not surprised Anisa would, though, because if there's a chance she can work her way up another ladder, yeah, dirt, by the way, that's the word you're thinking of, filth.
And then, even if he would like beat Ian up, she'd be very into it. And then,
I want to say that, I want to say that before. So Anisa never gave shoutouts to Michael training Ian at all, but she put out the first video of Ian like getting hit, rocked in sparring when Ian was sparring with her crush. Yeah. It was our friend Gabe. She shared it. And we have a clip too. You guys can show. I
would call him Gorgeous Gabe.
This information coming out and coming to light, sharing the perspective from the inside of the business model and how they were treated is very important, considering the roles that they played with Creator Clash, Idubbzzz, and Anisa. Right? Yeah, there's still more.
Yeah, the first Creator Clash, Sam had a major presence there, even though he physically wasn't there. I did see a lot of shirts, a bunch of Sam Hyde, and something that has that type of what's it called? Like it's
an allure.
Hard to get people to move. Yeah, and people were there. They were wearing his T-shirt and stuff like that. And I had a lot of people that watched Sam and watched the documentary that watched Creator Clash. But you know, I guess it was like picking and choosing who could be a part of the event.
To be honest, Sam Hyde did more to promote Creator Clash as a whole than Idubbzzz and Anisa did. Sam Hyde wanted to fight Hassan Piker. Hassan, obviously being a poser, declined. I personally thought if that could have happened, and on Creator Clash 2 anyway, that could have made a lot of money from it. But Hassan's not interested in charity unless he is the benefactor, or he's, he's more interested in talking about how cool Hezbollah flags are. Yes, I've seen the clips. It's not much in the way of a flex, but it's a weird one to go, oh, that's cool because there's a gun on it. You want gun control, and That's what. Okay, you know what? We'll ignore that for now. Continuing with another clip, because this highlights Sam Hyde's potential. When you're an influencer or you have influence, you can sway, you can generate interest in a product. Idubbzzz and Anisa went contrarian and went with people no one knew or gave a fuck about.
Would have if he would have just been there. Like, so.
It was the craziest thing because Anisa said to me, she's like, Kate, you don't understand. Ian and I both believe that Sam Hyde would really come and find me and would actually murder me. So that's the reason why we have to take all these precautions. And I'm just like, are you sure?
I was like, I think the guy's a millionaire. I was like, I don't think he's going to risk his freedom to kill you.
I don't think it helped that Sam Hyde said in a post-fight interview, Hassan, I'm gonna unalive you. But at the same time, Sam Hyde is a living legend, a meme. There's no way he's not a millionaire, and there's no way he's not comfortable with the life he has. It's all posturing. If you know anything about boxing, by the way, it's a good way of promoting events. If you are that deluded to think that someone of Sam Hyde's stature would go near you, Anisa, in an aggressive manner, and the same with Ian, the midget that he is, you are delusional. You have to be. And there are pills for that. I recommend you get prescribed some and take them. It'll help when you finally see reality. No, it's not a red pill, in case you're wondering, but they have been taking far too many blue pills.
Almost look like him. That's crazy.
we know this guy. He's the finance guy.
Yeah.
Very nice guy.
Very nice. And like,
so what happened? How did he piss off Anisa?
So he owns properties. No, I'm just well, that was kind of it. But when they did his show, because we went to Vegas to promote the event, and when he went to do his podcast, he didn't have a chair for her. So she was super offended by that. She was so pissed.
But don't you know just how important they are? I understand when we get to a certain stage in life, we expect and demand respect. Sadly, for me, that is not something I can adhere to. I prefer that you must always earn it. And if there isn't a chair for you, simply request one. But this does lean into yesterday, where if one thing doesn't go completely right for Anisa, the whole day is completely smagged up.
Jewish.
Yeah.
Did he not get her a chair? Is he by chance Jewish?
I don't know.
What's that?
Is he Jewish?
Oh, Stefan, good question.
Yeah.
Good question. Yeah.
You're obviously Jewish.
Well, she might have thought so. If you hear.
Yeah, she might have thought so. She was so pissed because he had her. She was complaining about it, and he had a chair for Ian, but not one for her. So she had to sit in the back, far away, and she wasn't in frame. And so she thought that was so offensive that he would, do a podcast with Ian and not.
Wait, let me pull that up.
This might seem callous, but at the time of this happening, especially, Ian was more than Anisa. Ian is the Idubbzzz face. Ian is the character. Well, he was. Now he's just cucked, quite frankly. He really is. He can't take a joke. He can't take criticism. He's blocking quite heavily on Twitter because, and if you're listening, Ian, I doubt you are, you're a bit of a bitch. You've become one. And I understand that means you get to dredge the swamp, as it were. But to be this delicate when all you have to do is mute tells us that they've actually gotten under your skin. Muting means you can still interact and you'll never see it. They'll never know either. But blocking is the statement that says, yeah, I can't handle anything. I'm delicate. It's the trauma, guys. The trauma.
We're with them for 2 to 3 weeks at a period of time. That's a long time to be with someone. You learn so much about the person. And then you start to realize, wow, everything that, I don't want to say, their enemy's name. What's his name? Sam. I don't want to say he's right, but when we saw that video drop, I was
he's
like,
right.
oh my God.
You could say it.
I was like,
the one where he's like,
that?
well, hold on. So there's a video of Sam Hyde, and he goes, she's going to ruin his life. Mark my words. I guarantee it. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes, Anisa was the one that showed it to us, because we didn't know nothing.
Sam Hyde is right. There are very few instances where Sam Hyde has actually been wrong. Yeah, this is not one of those few instances. He is definitively correct. Now, because of the money lost by many involved, including these people, Ethan actually made an offer.
But I want to say here that I, the capitalist, will once again be ponying up for the right cause. It is not right that he stiffed you guys. I'm going to be sending you guys $5,000 for the bonus that you never got.
Oh my God.
Because he should have never fucked you guys.
That's insane.
It's my pleasure to do it. I'm going to send you guys that money. You should have got more than it from him, frankly. But once again, let's just bask.
There have been multiple instances of late where the capitalist, that is Ethan Klein, does the most uncliche thing. There are some stereotypes that Family Guy like to rip on, and many programs do in fact, concerning those that are Jewish being tight with money, by giving money to people that he's not even directly connected to. And he's doing it because others have failed, and their arrogance is quite unbecoming when they fail. At some point, you've got to learn a lesson. Ian, I'm waiting for you to learn it. You're so full of yourself still, and it's weird. It really is. I understand that people change when they're in relationships, when they get married, they settle down. I'm yet to be convinced that you've settled down, unless it's to sniff something. And I highly believe, highly likely, it's sherbet off Anisa's foot, unwashed. There's more, though, to add to this, because Ethan obviously has others he wants to throw digs at the same time.
Hassan doesn't pay his moderators. His mods are on stream begging for money.
Look
right?
it up.
Yet, like, look at me, right? Go ahead, Tom, say something nice about me.
You're just an amazing person. You look very handsome in the suit
Thank
today.
you. That's
You're
what my mom
generous
says.
with your money. You're just all around good guy, good family guy, great dad and husband.
Thank you. Commonest never.
I'll say thanks for reimbursing me and Lena for her training. That was very nice. The check cleared.
When someone is on their game, it shows quite clearly, quite well in fact. Ethan had also on his Instagram story posted this, no doubt one of those little nails in a coffin that doesn't even need to exist if Idubbzzz and his wife could simply stop being so full of themselves. Because this is quite tragic, yeah? I don't see this changing. As more and more is coming out, Anisa and Idubbzzz are looking even worse. Anisa especially. Idubbzzz just looks like he's been broken and pegged. That's what he looks like. Anisa looks like the person who's, well, using that broken and pegged individual, possibly a man, I'm not entirely convinced, a genetic test may be required, to further her own gains, not his, because his gains are going down the drain. There are creators in the past that have tanked their channels and all they did was change attitude. This was, for him, a guaranteed surefire way of just being prosperous and successful for a long time. It is unlikely to be that way within the next 5 years if things don't change for him now. I'm not sensationalizing when I say you are racing yourself to the bottom, and I highly welcome you here because you then become one of us. Grats. I can't give you another achievement unlocked, I've used it once in this video already. As a final thing, if you liked the video, smash the like of course. I shall be streaming on Twitch tonight. I'm also streaming on Moist Ski Live, a Amberlin Reed stream. Yes, because I haven't done one over there in a little while, and I think, yes, that'd be jolly good, don't you think? Yes. Buzzballs, no, thank you. Hope to see you there. If not, have a wonderful day, guys, and thank you so much for listening.